Easter is here, and once again Albion has decided to launch an event. Now this event is very similar to the one from last year, so let's break down exactly what happens and how we can profit from it. So scattered throughout the different zones of Albion, blues, yellows, reds and blacks, there are Easter egg treasures hidden. Now these are very similar to the regular hidden treasures that are already in the game. They are very small and very hard to spot. Now each one of these Easter eggs has around 500 HP and they can very easily be destroyed, revealing loot. Now the loot inside of it, it's exclusively event related, meaning you won't find any regular items there. However, some of the loot can be very valuable and very profitable. So what exactly can we find inside of these eggs? Well, first and foremost, Easter eggs themselves. Now these are the main currency from the event and they are used to unlock other event items. Now you'll need very large quantities to buy them, so don't be surprised if you can quickly get a stack in treasures. But we will come back to this currency a little bit later on the video. Now another item that you're going to be finding is chocolate eggs. Now these are very commonly featured in Albion seasonal events, and they are consumables that, when used, provide the player with a 15% fame boost throughout 30 minutes. Now these are especially useful for PvE players and crafters. Seriously, take advantage of these as they are great for leveling up both your crafting and your equipment. Now these only last a week and a half, so make sure to use them before the event runs out or sell them. Now then there are two special eggs, which are pretty much little babies. Now the first is the vibrant spring cotton egg, which works very similar to any baby animal. It can be placed in a kennel and raised. It takes 1 day and 20 hours to grow, or 22 hours if you have premium. Now the result of this egg is a very adorable bunny mount called Spring Cotton Bunny. Now this bunny has a speed of 132%, which is exactly the same as a normal direwolf. Now it also has a very cute skill, allowing it to do 3 mini hops, making you immune to crowd control effects. Kinda like an iframe if you think about it. Now the second type of egg is the eerie cottontail egg. Now these are very rare and extremely expensive, costing around 50 million silver on the Europe server and around 30 million silver on the American one. They hatch into Carlian cottontails, which amazingly have nothing to do with Carlian. Now these bunnies look very fierce, being black, and come with a very special skill called Rabbit Frenzy. Now when activated, the bunny roars and marks the enemies around it. If you leap onto one of the marked enemies, it deals around 1000 damage.
Here's Johnny!
Now this skill looks amazing, but in practice it's very rarely used, since most of these mounts never leave the safety of the city zones. Now to raise these bunnies, you'll need to feed them, and funny enough, they don't eat carrots just like any other rabbit. They eat chocolate, of course, from the Easter themed event. Now this chocolate is found on the open world treasures, and you can consume it for a mana buff. But besides that, it's pretty much useless outside of just feeding the bunnies. Now these bunnies are very fat, so they eat a lot of chocolate, around 500 units of it in order to be fully grown. So expect to waste a hefty amount of silver if you want to raise this, as chocolate is very expensive nowadays. Now when you're raising these mounts, you can use focus for a 10% of receiving an extra egg, which is pretty much a wild gamble. Now similarly to a mammoth, the egg itself is more expensive than the mount, so raising one always feels like a game of chance. Now back to the currency, the Easter eggs. There are two types: the full golden eggs, which are from the previous event and they cannot be obtained anymore, and then there are the surprise eggs, which are the current event's currency. Now these can be traded in the Vanity merchant for custom vanity items, such as the Executioner, a vanity weapon that shoots eggs. Now it's not this one because I don't have it, but it's very similar to this one. They can also be traded for more chocolate for feeding your mounts, a bunny stalker set, which is pretty much a vanity set. Now it's very interesting about this set that the boots are the cheapest ones and the hats are the most expensive pieces. And then you have a snow bunny hat, which is a very rare cosmetic with a unique skill that spawns a rabbit. There's also an egg-shaped chest, which is mostly decorative, and you can place it on your island, but it has very limited storage capacity and barely any slots, so it's not really particularly used beyond its looks. So how exactly can we make money from this event? Well, first things first, probably the quickest and easiest way to make money is actually go out into the open world and do these chests and these treasures. Now, it's very rare and it's gonna be very hard, but you can find these eggs worth up to 50 million silver. Now, of course, you don't need to get 10 of them, but if you're lucky, you might just get one, and that will set you up your premium for pretty much 2 months. Now, if you don't want to go out there alone, you can always grow in groups, because there are also group treasures for larger groups of players. Now, these chests are very similar to the chests that we already have in the open world, and they have different rarities, going all the way from common to legendary. Now, of course, the higher the rank, the higher the reward, so if you get a legendary, you have a way higher chance of actually securing good loot. Now, regarding the loot that you get, it's also very important to know that the loot diverges from tier and zone. So if you're in T8 zone in the black zone, you have a way higher chance of actually getting something good, rather than if you're just sitting on a blue zone on a tier 4 zone. So go out there, risk your inventory, because you only live once and you have a great opportunity to make money. Now, if you don't want to go into the open world, or you simply just want to sit in the city farming every day, there are also other great ways that you can make money. Now, it wouldn't be me if we didn't play the market, and one of the best ways to make money is actually to buy order these eggs and then craft them into vanity items. Now, since a lot of the players don't know what these eggs are used for, they don't understand that they can be used to craft these vanity items, which can be sold for a quick profit. So you literally buy order them, you go to the vanity merchant, you buy the vanity you wish, and you just sell them on a market for a quick profit. Now, it's very important for you to know that the tendency for this gear or for this vanity sets are to increase in value, because since this is a rotational system, it comes back every year, or at least it has been like this for the past 4 or 5 years. So the next time that people will be able to unlock this vanity will be on the Easter of 2026. So you pretty much have an entire year where the vanity is gonna value. The next time the event comes, the gear is gonna be very cheap again. So in this case, since we're in April, if you sell it on March 2026, that gear is gonna be 8 to 9 to 10 times more expensive. So it's a great piece of investment that you can hold on to and make sure that you get profit. Now, before you go out there and buy a bunch of these surprise eggs, it's very important that you do the math and make sure that you're actually making profit if you're crafting these. Now, on the beginning of the event, these items are going to be very expensive as they are fairly new to the players. So the tendency until the end of this event is the price to go down. Now, before you do anything, really make sure you do the math. Now, if you want to keep these items, it's also very important that you have patience. Now, things take time to value, but they do value, and it's a great way, probably one of the best ways to make money when it comes down to event items. To wait a couple of months and then selling them for a quick profit. Now, something else that I want to mention is if you don't want to use your Easter eggs to unlock the vanity, you can also have very good luck and get the vanity from the chests in the open world. However, this is rare and very hard to get, so don't get your hopes too high. My personal piece of advice, if you can afford it, make sure to buy the Executioner skin, which is the offhand vanity item, because this is only normally bought by gold. Now, this is the only opportunity that you can actually get it by not using gold, so it's a great piece of equipment to have. Needless to say, that is all from me. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you guys have any questions, make sure to drop them down below. If you guys have any crafting questions or just questions about the game, I also leave a Discord link down below that you guys can join, where I always have active premium giveaways and it's my little crafting community. That being said, that is all for me. Thank you so much for watching, and as usual, Nendys out.